How's your weekend? Morning. How's your weekend? Camera and back by there.
People invited to...
Okay, you've come today outside the court in favour of Blair Cottrell?
Yes, I have, because it's not right. It's just two separate rules for different people. It's just... Wow. If you're an immigrant, you can get away with anything in this country, but I'm a sixth generation Australian and I feel I don't really even feel it's my country anymore.
Here not to demonstrate against the Magistrates Court, but we're actually here to demonstrate and to counter the UPF from organising in the streets. We have been around for around 2 years now, and we have organised and countered the fascists like the United Patriots Front and a whole number of them, and we need to stop them where they fall.
Racist, sexist, anti-queer!
Fascists are not welcome here!
Racist, sexist, anti-queer!
Fascists are not welcome here!
Racist, sexist, anti-queer!
Fascists are not welcome here!
We're the Aussie! We shouldn't be second-class citizens in our own country! We're the Aussie! We shouldn't be second-class citizens in our own country!
G'day, I'm here today to stand up for free speech and to stand against the Law 18C and yeah, to hopefully have the boys have a good outcome in court. It's only mentioned date today, so we'll be in and out fairly quick. And you know, one country, one law, one people, one flag.
What did the police have to say to you just then?
The police asked me to move on because they're not asking the left-wing people to move on because seem to have more rights than us. And yeah, apparently if I stand here I'm causing trouble. That's awesome, mate.
We're just here today, and the reason we're dressed like we are is to show the Muslim people out there that we're walking a mile in their shoes. These charges are a joke, and yeah, that's all I can say. We'll be acquitted of these charges.
What are you doing here, sorry?
I'm appearing in court under a racial religious tolerance act, and the charges will be acquitted.
I want to say, right, I respect freedom of speech, whether it's from the left of the spectrum, whether it's from the right, whether it's from an ethnic minority or from an ethnic majority. Anzacs thought that we can have freedom of speech. That's what Western culture is based from. What these lefties are doing is lefto-fascism, not letting us express ourselves. I respect the left's view, but all we ask, give us a bit of respect to express ourselves. You can see we're not on their face, you can see they're on our face.
Racist, sexist, anti-queer!
Why are you dressed the way you're dressed? I want to try and embrace diversity. Australia has a multicultural policy, whether it's from the Labor legal paradigm, so what we're trying to do. And look here, they're showing fascism here, we can't express ourselves. They say Muslims are welcome, look what they're doing, they're attacking us.
Racist, sexist, anti-queer!
Fascists are not welcome here!
Racist, sexist, anti-queer!
Fascists are not welcome here!
Racist, sexist, anti-queer!
Welcome here!
Racist, sexist, anti-queer!
Fascists are not welcome here!
Racist, sexist, anti-queer!
Fascists are not welcome here!
Racist, sexist, anti-queer!
Fascists are not welcome here!
Racist, sexist, anti-queer! Refugees are welcome!
Fascists are not!
and his other fascist friends are in at the Magistrates Court this morning, being rightfully sued for Islamophobia. I'm here because history shows us that confronting fascism head-on, while they're small, is the only way to defeat it. I've been doing this for about 2 years now, showing up every time they rear their ugly racist heads in Melbourne. We show up and counter their demonstrations and consistently have won every time. There's been hardly any fascists arrive this morning, and that's because they're too fucking scared, because we come out and confront them every time. In a world where Donald Trump is the leader of the most powerful country in the world, emboldening racists and fascists all around the world, we need to be standing up and fighting against these people before...
To be heard, fascist scumbags, and just as much we need to say that we have the confidence to take a stand against them. We have the confidence to take a stand against racism, to take a stand against fascism, to take a stand against the racists in our own parliament. Every step, we commit ourselves to taking a stand against polling Hanson, to taking a stand against Turnbull and the government's own appalling refugee policies, the attacks on Muslims that even Donald Trump has taken some inspiration from. I think we have to see that that's a clear out. One of the crap generation grabbed it.
Stand up, fight back.
Last time I came to a protest, I got pushed over by one of these people, and I still can't be protected.
Inside, there are three leaders of the United Patriots Front: Blair Cottrell, Ericson, and Shortis. In October of 2015 in Bendigo, when there was a big battle over the building of a mosque, those three played a racist stunt, a very violent racist stunt. They acted out a parody of a Muslim who beheaded a person, an effigy, and then threw the bloody so-called head against the wall of the council. So they have been charged with religious vilification as well as damage to property. So they're facing the Magistrates Court there today. Campaign Against Racism and Fascism is holding this counteraction outside the court to say that that speech is not tolerable. The UPF describes their case as a free speech case. We say that's nothing to do with free speech. It's everything to do with hate speech. Muslims are welcome.
Racists enough. Ho ho! The UPF has got to go. Ho ho! Ho ho! The UPF has got to go. Ho ho!
Well, I've been covering this issue for many months, and like many people, I'm very concerned about what these continual protests are doing to police resourcing. There must be around 60 police here today, maybe more. It's hard to know precisely how many police are here. But these police are being drawn away from important duties that they could be undertaking to help keep our community safe. And it's at a time when police numbers are being cut in real terms. So I just wanted to come today, and it's really concerning to see many Melburnians coming to work on a Monday morning and having to run this gauntlet. Police are doing an excellent job in keeping them safe for the time being, but I'm looking at many people who are walking to work. They're very concerned, some of them look a bit distressed, many apprehensive about what might happen when they walk down the footpath. We don't know what's going to happen during the course of the day. The situation does seem a bit uncertain, but it's another example of these protests just drawing police away from important work. Everybody, I should emphasise, has the right to protest and to do it peacefully, but not every protest should require the attendance of dozens of police officers who are needed elsewhere.
We get to do it because of freedom of speech, don't we? And we here are the million flag patriots. Oh, we love our freedom of fucking speech, don't we? Oh, mate, we can't get enough freedom of speech. The only problem for me with freedom of speech is that there's never enough. Salute, salute, salute. You give me a bit, I just want more. More freedom of speech, that sweet, sweet freedom of fucking speech. It's like a drug. In 2015, Quarter Patriots, Blair Cottrell, Neil Erikson and Shortis cut the head off of a dummy in Bendigo. That was a brilliant act of freedom of speech. They did what they want. Now it might be said that they were inhibited by the laws of our nation, that they knew there was a law against it, but they still had their freedom of speeches and they used the fuck out of it, and we salute that. The million flag patriots demand that the federal government of Australia immediately release Blair Cottrell, Neil Erikson and Shortis from the courthouse, because freedom of speech, fuck yeah! Fuck yeah! Join with me, Neo-Patriots, in demanding that they be released immediately. Let them out! 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 Let's stop! However, their freedom of speech is mitigated by the fact that they are a pack of unmitigated shit cunts. You can't just give someone unlimited freedom of speech and then sit around and watch them ruin it by being a pack of fuckwits, can you?
And when we look at the United States in Trump's presidency, we see exactly where that hate speech goes. We see mosques being burned. We see synagogues being shot at. We see LGBTIQ Black Americans, immigrants, being attacked. And that is exactly the danger of what the UPF stands for and the actions of the UPF. Now, we are here not expecting anything from the court. We don't look to the court for solutions because we know that the laws are also used against us. We only have to look at the recent criminalization of homelessness. We only have to look at the anti-union Australian Building and Construction Commission, that laws are set up to make a lot, even ultimately possibly our activity, criminal. So we do not look to the courts for solutions against this very dangerous threat. We look to ourselves, the community, all of us who are the current targets and the future targets of the neo-Nazis and the far right. And I'm talking about not only Muslims, but independent women, LGBTIQ, First Nations, unionists, and so on. So we see a very real threat, and we're here to stop it before it goes and not allow them their hate speech.
What about their rights what about their freedom of speech rights?
Everybody should have freedom of speech, but we must use our free speech to drown their hate speech out.
Actually means that the government can rip billions out of education, billions out of healthcare, and bundle it into the military. This is why we're standing up here today, because the United Patriots Front represents the rise of fascism internationally. We do this with Donald Trump, involving people like the United Patriots Front, involving people like no independent fans. And this is why it's so important to keep standing up against the fascists, against these racist pieces of scum. Don't stand for more! No friends to last time! Racist enough!
Always lose in Melbourne, fuck off! Always lose in Melbourne, fuck off!
Laws that the United Patriots Front are willing to put for the people that keep saying that this is an issue of free speech. You might just want to look at the head.
No comment. No comment.
It's ridiculous. We're going to fight it till the end and we will win.
Specifically, what are you charged with doing? What's the...
Offending a specific religious group over the internet.
And how did you do that? What was the allegations that you did?
We attempted to bring to the attention of the community of Bendigo how barbaric the practice of beheading someone is.
And you're going to fight the charges? You haven't got legal representation at the moment, but you're going to take this the whole way?
Absolutely.
Let me tell you something. Let me put you straight. The state is in error of law. That is as simple as that. They are in error of law. They might find themselves under sedition laws themselves. We have a right as citizens of the Commonwealth to legally protest, and you'll find by law what we have done is actually completely legal. Bottom line is that the state has acted in error in law, okay? And I'm not going to divulge why, but we're going to contest our charges purely on a legal matter, okay? We're not going to try and justify what Islam does. We're going to fight on a matter of we're going to fight on a matter of law, and it's that simple. Because what we've done is perfectly legal, okay? Now, as time goes ahead, I'm just going to want to ask the question to all these people that live in our great and beloved country. Did our Anzacs, did our forefathers actually envision this? No, they did not. I'm a white man, and as a white man, people offend my Christianity all the time, okay? But it may hurt me, it may hurt my feelings, but a court of law is not a place for hurt feelings. I was one of the three that took part in that political stunt on October 4th, 2015.
And can I just ask why you thought it was necessary to behead the dummy like that?
Well, at the end of the day, we have a theology called Islam, which is incompatible with Western society. The biggest reason that it's incompatible with Western society, there is no separation of church and state when it comes to Islamic practice.
So, Blair, what's your current title? Is it in terms of the UPF? How does that work?
Oh, I'm just one of the shop callers, I suppose. We don't have an impressive series of titles, really.
Okay. All right, so, I mean, we've had a similar chat with Chris, but I guess, what was the goal of staging that mock beheading in Bendigo?
Just to bring to the attention of the public that the theology of Islam is quite barbaric. Some of its doctrines, some of its belief systems are quite barbaric. That's just not something we want in this country. You should be able to do that without being prosecuted by the state.
Isn't it better to do it as you're doing it now, talking about it, than to stage a mock beheading?
No, I don't believe so. Sometimes you've got to be a little abrasive to get yourself on the map, to get people's attention. But it's a ridiculous charge, as I've already said. The state's way out of line. There's no plaintiff, no Muslim has complained. It hasn't affected any Muslim in any way. And so what is the case against us? It's going to be very interesting to see what the prosecution's going to do to keep upholding these charges.
And what do you make of your opponents who stood outside the Magistrates Court today? They say you're a racist, they say you're a fascist. What's your response to that?
Well, I suppose the modern day Marxists just came to oversee the proper course of justice, which was very good of them.
Can we expect further clashes between you and those groups?
Oh, I've never really clashed with them before. I don't go to where they go, they come to where I go, so I suppose it's up to them.
But stuff like the beheading is fairly provocative. I mean, there's sort of a courting conflict there.
Well, that's your opinion, I suppose.
It's a pretty mock violent act, though. I mean, you would have anticipated that was going to provoke some people.
The word mock has been used by the press. I never used the word mock. I don't think
but it wasn't a real person.
I don't think it was a mockery of anything, though. It was that isn't a legitimate practice in the theology of Islam, and it's not something I want happening in this country. I love this country, I love Australia, and I want to keep it Australian.
I believe you're in court today. Can you tell us what transpired?
Yes, I can. It was a fairly ordinary experience. There was just a mention, what are the charges, who led the charges, how do you respond to the charges, are you going to contest them? That was pretty much it, really. And then once it was established that they were going to be contested, the judge said, well, you're eligible for legal aid, blah, 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 and we'll put you down for a conference which I think involved attempted resolution or reconciliation or something for the 23rd of May. That's pretty much it.
Thanks very much. See you next time, huh?
So it's all over now. And what do you feel like with the police surrounding you?
Not scared at all. They don't intimidate me. Free speech is still in this country, so... And I'm not a racist. I'm not a racist. My doctor's a Muslim, my best friend's German, my other best friend is Italian and Greek. I've got a Japanese and a Burmese in my family. I'm not a racist.